All right, we are back. Peanut Gallery. Let's get into some news.
Yes, Matt Hardy. Now, Matt Hardy's whole thing. Now, a couple of things going on with Matt Hardy. Obviously, he made his debut at TNA.
His return.
Yeah, his return to TNA. Sorry. And it's implied that maybe he signed with the company, but it has not yet been confirmed. He did actually state after the show that he was still a free agent. So either this is a one-off thing or maybe he's on a temporary contract with them while the storyline plays out. But yeah, he let his contract expire with AEW earlier this month, as we have speculated.
Yep.
So yeah, that's kind of what's going on with Matt Hardy there. So a couple of a couple of New Japan stars, especially with the Super Juniors happening right now, have actually been injured. So we have Yo, who had to pull out
because he dislocated his shoulder.
Yep, and now Ryusuke Taguchi is also out for a couple of weeks for an unspecified reason. And so a lot of high-profile injuries are going on.
I didn't hear about that. Now, Ryusuke Taguchi's been around forever, and he was not going to win it. Now, Yo probably would have had a contention, but his match with Sho had to end early because literally his shoulder was dislocated.
But yeah, a couple of stars who were in the best of the Super Juniors are just getting injured, which is interesting because, considering the fact that the roster is already as limited as it is, it doesn't bode well
it's just one bad thing after another.
It is.
It sucks, man.
Yeah, it does.
We talked about Rossi already.
We did.
Let's talk about the injury update.
Yeah, so he might have to go in for some surgery.
I thought he did have surgery.
I don't think he had surgery with the intestines.
Okay.
Yes.
But if I'm not mistaken, he does have diverticulitis.
Yes.
And it's a good possibility that he's going to go in for surgery for it.
Yes, but he's also not the only star. Now, the first picture had Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona also went in for surgery.
Right. And that was his pec.
Yes, that was on his pec, so he's going to be out for a while.
He's going to be out for a while.
Which is unfortunate, but hey, it is what it is. And then good news, hey, Ruby Soho's pregnant.
I don't know why, but I thought that whole thing with Angelo Parker was 100% kayfabe.
No, it wasn't. She's actually pregnant.
Yeah, but I didn't know that they were actually in a relationship.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, I had no clue. I had no idea.
Well, a lot of wrestlers are in relationships with other wrestlers, but hey, that's the industry, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
Carlos Cabrera is now part of AEW. I don't know how much they're paying him, but he's probably getting paid some good money.
So Carlos Cabrera is a Hugo's whatever his name is he also?
You know what? I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I know that this was a pretty good get for AEW, especially with their Spanish listeners, because
they need
Carlos Cabrera is pretty much the Jim Ross of the Spanish commentary team.
He really is.
Yeah.
He's been around forever. He was in WWE for a very long time.
Yes, very long tenure WWE guy.
But also, he's very well known in Mexico, and especially with everything as relates to CMLL. This is one of the more positive gets for them. Even though he's at commentary, if you are Spanish speaking or you like to listen to Spanish commentary, it's going to be a voice that you know.
Yes.
And especially because Jim Ross is pretty much out the door at this point.
Yeah. He's going to be a pretty good voice and I guess commentary leader going forward. I call it that.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So Morrissey Machine Guns, if you didn't know, are out of TNA.
They have not confirmed AEW,
but it looks like they are going to AEW. I know that they were offered a contract to go to AEW, and that's very likely where they're going to end up. Now, there was a tease within WWE for that, that announcement that Nick Aldis made last week on social media where he teased the Motor City Machine Guns. So I think that they were in talks as well, and it looked like maybe they were pretty close on signing them, but you got to keep that strategic ambiguity, I guess.
You never know. I would say that WWE would be the better choice for them because AEW has a tendency of being horrible, but and WWE is so white hot right now. It would be such a big boost to their credibility if they went to WWE right now because, a freaking house show sold 16,000 tickets.
So yeah, that's an interesting update. So Nikki Bella has expressed interest in getting back into the ring.
And Tony Khan wants at least Nikki. I'm not sure about, well, Brie pretty much has the end if she ever wants to get back in the ring.
Yeah. And I think Brie also said that she is not as interested in getting back to the ring. But it was, I guess, a very interesting conversation that was had, because obviously the Bellas have had a very long tenure with the WWE and have had a lot of success with the WWE.
And a lot of success outside of the WWE.
Right.
So with Tony Khan, it's like, I mean, Nikki Bella, I would probably say would bring more eyes to the product than Mercedes did.
Yeah, because Mercedes... so Nikki cited Mercedes as an inspiration to getting back into the ring on her little quest to, on her final decision. I guess we'll see.
Well, but Nikki has to be careful because she does have the neck stuff.
Yeah.
She had really bad neck injuries.
Yes.
So really you have to be careful with her because we don't want another Saraya.
Right.
But, I don't know. I will say that Nikki did improve.
Yeah,
she did. As she went. So it's like there was dedication to the craft, but it's like how much more can you get out of her as it relates in ring work? But that's kind of where I am sitting on that. It was more of like,
and I think she brought more eyes to the product because of the stuff that wasn't necessarily ring related.
Yeah, with the stuff with E.
Yeah,
Total Bellas was one of the highest rating shows since Keeping Up with the fucking Kardashians.
Yeah, and so was
Total Divas.
I mean, she and her twin sister were mainstays on those shows.
Yeah, they made Total Bella. It's like, come on.
Right. Erick Rowan canceled a couple of his indie dates.
I did see that due to
contractual obligations. So
yes.
I'm hoping and hinting that he is going to make a return to the WWE. It would be a great get, especially if they're going to bring back the likes of Bo Dallas and stuff. I mean, I think that a case could be made to create a tag team or a stable based around that.
Their only connection is Bray, and I said, and I'm going to say until I'm blue in the face, that it would be such a bad idea to continue the Bray Wyatt Cinematic Universe in any capacity, because without Bray, you don't have the cinematic universe.
Well, I think that it's kind of like the Bloodline. I think they're going to put a new twist on it.
Now, if they put a new twist on it without bringing up Bray Wyatt ad nauseum, then fine. Cool.
They're not. Okay, you think Triple H is stupid. You don't think that he sees what AEW's done with Mark Briscoe?
And they made the mistakes in the past. They did with Eddie Guerrero all the fracking time, and people hate it. I hated it.
Yeah, and so I think that they're gonna do right with this.
Yeah, I mean,
a new dimension.
I will say with Erick Rowan, they did pretty good with his alignment with Daniel Bryan back in the days. Like, he was part of that whole Bray Wyatt thing, and then he just kind of did his own thing, and he was totally separate where you didn't even think about it.
Right. The other thing too is obviously Braun Strowman is injured, but he could also play a role in a potential group like that as well. I mean, you got two big guys, who would just dominate. All right, Vince McMahon. All right, so we got to talk about, because there were some updates to the lawsuits, and it did involve, and it did name, I guess, the lawyer named John Cena and The Rock.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. So, to what I heard is that McMahon is in contempt of not being within any sort of anything. He's like 87, so let's calm down there. But also, the lawyer brought up the fact that Mr. McMahon is keeping contact with John Cena and The Rock, and she was disappointed that they would associate themselves with the guy. What the fuck?
I think most WWE wrestlers maintain at least a modicum of contact with them. With him.
Is Vince McMahon not allowed to have friends now?
Right, as he is retired, he does have friends in high places.
Yeah, he's having talks with some buddies. Let's fucking chill.
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to drag John Cena and The Rock in the fucking mud for no reason. They didn't fuck any of these people, did they?
Who knows?
Was John Cena holding her down? No. He's not gonna do that.
Right.
Good Lord.
And it's like, honestly, I mean, especially The Rock, like, he essentially became a board member. Of course they had recent communications.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure The Rock bought some of the guy's stock, for God's sake.
Yeah, seriously.
There's 8 million stocks still available to my knowledge now.
Yeah. So
That
yeah,
was so ridiculous.
It was kind of ridiculous.
And guess what?
It did have to be brought up.
Nothing is going to come from it either.
No.
John Cena and The Rock are going to be totally fine. They were not implicated in the lawsuit, but the lawyer was like, I'm just so disappointed that Mr. Cena and Mr. Johnson would have communication with him. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, seriously.
They
it's not like they've known Vince McMahon for, decades of their lives.
Right. It's like, Jesus Christ, a fucking phone call now. You're gonna fucking shoehorn them in.
Right.
This lawyer is really not helping the situation at all. She is getting on television way too much, and it's making me very more suspicious about the validity of these claims. I'm sorry. That's sort of where I'm coming in. It's like every other week this lawyer is there. Why? Right. There's no reason for it.
And where are they on TV? Where are they speaking on
I think the last interview was on CBS.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong on that, but she's been very active publicly.
Which is interesting for a lawyer, because lawyers normally don't want to be that public.
Hell, the Johnny Depp and Amanda Heard lawyers were barely on television during that. And it's like, okay, something else. This is weird. I don't like it.
Right. All right, and we got to address the releases. Now, not only were wrestlers released this time around, but we also had a couple of very notable corporate releases as well this past month.
I didn't hear about this.
Sue Atchison, who won the Warrior Award.
Yeah, no, I do know about Sue Atchison.
One of the longest tenured employees at WWE.
She's gone.
She's gone.
She's been with the company for 30 years. I wouldn't be surprised if it's possibly a retirement or severance package.
Yeah, something like that. And then he also had the VP of Talent, who also stepped down.
Well, that was a step down. That wasn't.
No, that wasn't a step down. That was, I think, a release too. But of course, that also affects a lot of these contracts that are coming up as well. But then we also do have to recognize that yes, 5 wrestlers were released. Yes, all of them were people of color. No, it's not a motivating factor.
Right. It's like, okay, Zion Quinn lost a Braun Breaker in 5 seconds. That was the last time I saw him. Xia Li was on main event pretty much primarily. Indus was barely on, and Jinder Mahal, same thing.
Right.
These people are going to be fine. They know how to market themselves.
They all have 90-day non-compete clauses, so they're still getting paid.
Right. So let's all calm down about the race shit. You're discrediting them in every capacity.
Right.
So whatever.
Anyways, that's pretty much all I had for the week.
So
anything you wanted to add?
No. So when we come back, we are going to be talking about the good and not so good stuff about TNA Rebellion.
All right, let's get her started.